Now, I have gone through a heck of a lot of guinea pig supplies over the years, some of it good, some of it downright useless. So in today's video, I'm going to run through everything from the bare basics to cage accessories to grooming supplies that I currently have and use for the piggy herd. You'll be able to have a good nosy at what's in these drawers behind me and get some of your own recommendations for buying or upgrading your own supplies. And I'll also try and say what I think the essentials are versus, you know, things that are a little bit extra and nice to have, depending on your setup and storage space, of course. So first up, we have to address it, and that's the cage. This is our new piggy cage. It's mounted on these kitchen storage units, and it is a fully custom built cage made from furniture board and real glass along the front here. I did enlist the help of a local joinery company to help with the build, but you can make your own similar DIY furniture board cages using plexiglass instead of real glass, just like our old cage was. I know, this cage is kind of next level. So if I was starting out, then I would definitely go for a DIY CNC cage. They're really not that hard to put together, and they give far more space for less money than even the biggest pet store cages out there. I do actually have a tutorial on making your own CNC cage, so I will link it down in the description below. Moving on, and for bedding, personally I prefer fleece, which is kind of the only option with this cage, and for the most part I do make my own liners and I have a tutorial for that as well, but I promise I do actually buy some real stuff. Other liners that we've tried and tested are these paw inspired ones, and I believe they do varying sizes to fit CNC cages. I am actually thinking about using some of these liners to help me make some more matching pads for the cage, because it's the colours, if anything, that's holding me back from using these, even though they're so nice and new. Because if you use fleece, I think that waterproof or absorbent pads are a must. They can be changed out quickly, and if you're clever about where you use them in the cage, you'll find that the main liners underneath will last a long time, up to 3 or 4 even weeks in our case. So like with the liners, I've made some of these pads myself, but these big piggy themed ones came with Minnie and Penelope, and I think they're from Amazon. The bath mats and the other fluffy ones I bought from B&M and Amazon, and these Harlequin ones are from Hay Pigs. I do prefer to use waterproof ones in the hot spots, but the bath mats and the fluffy ones still work fine for more general areas. Next up, we have some guinea pig eating and drinking supplies, and firstly in here I have my bins of hay, this farm hay or meadow hay, and then I also use this, which is Hay Box's Timothy blend hay. And if you saw the video where I went and bought the bale of hay from the farm, that was back in October, and we are just coming to the end of it, and it's almost March now, so it was definitely good value buying that. I think it was £8.50, and I do have to go back and get another one soon, and yes, I will be protecting my car from the hay, which is still absolutely everywhere. Every time I open the boot, it's just covered. I would really recommend for new owners to have more than one type of hay if possible, and especially if you use litter trays like I'll do, and we'll get onto them in a minute. The farm hay is really cheap, and the Timothy hay is just really good quality, and the pigs love it. I tend to pack these Hay Pigs hay racks with the Timothy hay, so they always have some fresh up for grabs. Next up, our pellets are these Selective Naturals grain-free ones. I'm trying not to crinkle the bag too much because I know they'll be squeaking. I think these are considered to be one of the healthiest options out there, and I just keep them in this standard airtight container that you can get from pretty much any homeware shop. As for water bottles, I use these Living World and also unbranded ones that you can get from Amazon, and I find that these don't leak significantly, but some piggies just kind of dribble when they drink. So I think some people think the water bottles are leaking when it's actually just that, and whatever water bottle you use, I would recommend having an absorbent pad underneath it to collect any drips. Piggies! Oh, I'm sorry. Look at them on their bowls. So bowls next. Bowls are actually in this drawer here. So the double blue plastic bowl is just from a local shop. And then these funky ones are from Hay Pigs, and the others I have no idea about, to be honest, but they're a bit boring anyway. So next up we have this drawer here, which is a pretty big deal for the guinea pigs. So this is the drawer where I put all of their treats and forages and kind of extra food items. And we are lucky enough to get Hay Pig subscription boxes fairly often. So that's where a lot, if not all of this stuff is from. We've got Hay Pig's own, we've got Rosewood Boredom Breakers stuff, some Little One treats and dried forages. We've got the Hay Pig's Piggy Nom Noms. We've also got some Oxbow Natural Science tabs there. Forages that the piggies have enjoyed we've got from Bunny Bistro, Nature's Own, and also Piggy Parcels. They really enjoyed those. Oh, and pea flakes. You can't forget pea flakes. Piggies absolutely adore pea flakes. You just can't feed them too often. And that's the thing really with treats. I do have a lot here at the minute, but in general I don't feed them that often, and I always stick to natural ingredients. And now they're all just looking at me expectantly. Another thing that is essential for our setup, and I think any cage where you're using fleece and want to try and control the sheer amount of mess that comes out of your guinea pigs, is litter trays. And litter trays also mean that you can use fresh loose hay and your guinea pigs will dive in there. They'll absolutely love it. So it's a form of enrichment in its own right. And if you know the channel, you'll know that I have this plastic underbed storage box that I've used for years and years, and it works really well as a large litter tray for a herd of piggies. However, you can't really get them like this anymore because the plastic is too thick to cut into. So I've been looking for alternatives that aren't a cardboard box, which I was using at the other end of the cage, and yeah, it's died a death. It just disintegrated in pee, and you don't want to know. It was gross. Okay. So this is one of the alternatives, and this is what I ordered at the recommendation of a few different followers. So thank you, shout out to those of you who recommended these. I was totally unaware that this product existed and that it could be used for guinea pig litter trays. So let's take a look. There's 4 in here as well, so I'm going to make one up and see what it looks like. Does it click together? It clicks together. How easy was that? So these are actually wardrobe storage drawers, like, you know, that you can put in the bottom of a wardrobe, stack on top of each other and put clothes and stuff in there. And I know they aren't the biggest, but they're foldable, so as a sort of interim solution before I get the litter box of my dreams, then I think that these are going to work fairly well. Nacho's like, you're not going to disturb me, are you? Here he comes. Oh look, you've left us some presents in the hammock. The only thing is, it's a bit on the small side, especially when you've got 5 piggies, but that does mean that I can put a few of these around the cage. And as I said, they are kind of he's straight in there, they are kind of a bit of an interim before I am able to get some bigger ones. And I've actually had a few other suggestions of bigger ones as well. So I don't know, we might just go on a testing litter box out just journey here. Excuse me, you're just in the way now. No, he's not moving. Nacho is loving that. He's got the whole thing to himself and someone is gonna come and ruin his fun. Look how big Minnie is. She's like the same size as Phoebe. It's ridiculous. 2.5 piggies in there. It's a solid 7 out of 10 from the piggies. So let's talk cage accessories next, and these are just my most recommended ones because when you've owned guinea pigs for as long as I have, it's just not possible or reasonable to go through everything I've ever owned, and I don't want to be reminded of the amount of money I've spent over the years as well. First up, we have bendy bridges or willow sticks. These are a definite staple in any guinea pig cage. I would highly recommend them for new owners, and they do vary in quality. You can get them from different brands. This is just a cheap one off Amazon versus this is a really nice one made by Trixie that I got off the Hay Pigs website, and you can kind of tell the difference, but the piggies don't really care. A few more wooden items, and first of all we have this adorable rabbit bed. This was from my Amazon haul and it was actually my favourite product that I ordered for that video. So I would highly recommend this if you have the space. And I do have a few of these little sort of flat pack houses as well, but I don't use them as much just because the piggies can be quite possessive over them, especially with there being 5 of them. A lot of the other things you'll see in our cage are squishy beds and fleece hideys, most of which are from a range of independent creators. Guinea pigs really enjoy soft cozies and they are easy to pop in the wash when needed. I've also made quite a lot of these myself, but if you are into sewing or know someone who is, I actually have the patterns and instructions available on Etsy, as well as in my tutorial videos. And before I forget to mention them, something that we always have in the cage and the guinea pigs absolutely love them are the hammocks, and we do actually make our own in batches, so drop us a message if you're interested in getting your own. Next up, this is a little cart that I have that goes behind the cage. So I'm gonna go through the main items that I consider to be essentials. First up, we have this F10 cleaning solution. This has saved me so much money in buying spray bottles of disinfectant for the piggies. You just dilute this and it will literally last you years and years. Up here, I have the 1ml syringes that I was talking about in my last video. So these are what you can use to syringe feed guinea pigs critical care or recovery food, and you just cut the ends off and then you are not putting too much in their mouth at once and it doesn't all overflow and they don't get that syringe face where they've got all critical care down their neck. Next up on here I have some grooming supplies. These are from Gorgeous Guineas and I would recommend them if you have long-haired piggies or piggies that might need baths from time to time. And back here I have their Perfect Paws ointment. This is good for any piggies with dry feet. And then at this end I have a bunch of different sorts of recovery foods. I would recommend Emerade Sustain and Oxbow Critical Care. They are the ones I've had the best experience with in terms of guinea pigs actually wanting to eat them because they taste nicer than a lot of the other brands that I've tried personally. Moving on, I have some vet medicines down here on the bottom. You should throw away any antibiotics. Metacam can be quite good to keep because it lasts for 6 months once it's open. This is one of those handheld massagers that you can get off Amazon, and it works wonders for bloat and gut stasis or gut slowing in guinea pigs. Trust me, this will work better than gas drops or gripe water or whatever else you might see recommended for bloat. You pop this down, turn it on, put some fleece over the top of it, pop your guinea pig on there. Within 10-15 minutes, it's helping get those guts moving and chances are you'll be seeing poop. So I highly recommend getting one of these. Then I have some random supplements that I wouldn't really recommend. At the bottom here, for some strange reason, I have my own stethoscope. Yes, it's not essential, but I got one so I could listen to Pedro's guts when he was going through GI stasis and I wanted to know what was happening inside. And they can also be useful for guinea pigs with respiratory problems because you can hear things like a rattle in the lungs or the throat with the stethoscope. But it's very, you know, the vets will do that and you don't need to have your own. I'm just some sort of guinea pig health freak. So hopefully that's useful to see what I've got in there and everything else as well. I will try and list everything down in the description below, and if it's not listed specifically then chances are it's in my Amazon storefronts. I have them organised into different sort of lists of basic supplies, toys and treats and things like that, so go and check them out. They're linked below and I have one for the UK and the USA. And I think I've managed to cover everything, but if not, and if you have some burning questions, then just leave them in the comments below and I will try and get back to you. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye!